Extra, extra, read all about it. News channels deceiving people everywhere. Full story. Find solutions here. Today, I'm here to present to you a possible solution to an issue that has been apparent since the beginning of time, but has become an even bigger problem over the course of the last 20 years. That problem is fake news. With an increased number of social networks, information that may or may not be true can spread at an unbelievable pace, and in some cases, this can be greatly beneficial. But in others, it gives the opportunity for distorted and inaccurate news to spread like wildfire. However, by taking small precautions, you will no longer have to worry if the news that you are reading or watching is deceiving you. As most people know, just everyday news is supposed to consist of noteworthy and credible information about recent and or important events. A common issue that many people come across in today's day and age is the failure to differentiate fake news from reliable news. Fake news is just what it sounds like, news that isn't real or true. It is also considered to be a form of yellow journalism, a term that was first legitimately used in the 1890s at the beginning of the Spanish-American War to describe newspapers that would exaggerate or even manufacture dramatic events in hopes of helping gain the public support of the current war. The purpose of fake news still has the same intention today. This being said, fake news could also be considered propaganda because of its consistently of deliberate disinformation or even hoaxes that are spread via traditional news media or online social media. Fake news isn't something that comes with mediocre consequences. It has influential power on people and their opinions, as well as swaying their knowledge in general. Our worldview is shaped by what we learn. While reading stories and articles, and as a direct effect, we are continually making important decisions based on the information that we know, or at least that we think we know. We form our thoughts and ideas about people or scenario by obtaining information so that what we see on the TV or internet is false. So if what we see on the internet, TV, or internet is false, made up, distorted, or exaggerated, we cannot make good decisions. In order to do away with the problem of fake news, the first step is being able to recognize it. One way of doing so is to look at the emotion and tone of the story. If a news story has a dramatic headline with multiple exclamation points or an excessive use of all caps, it is likely that this could be an untrue or just a misleading story. To be sure if a news site is credible, you can also look for the use of neutral language and punctuation, because emotional language isn't really common or used in a balanced news story. It is said in the past that you could usually believe what you heard on major news networks, but in today's world, even that is no longer always the case. So you need to do more research on big issues to make sure you're getting the full story. While checking the emotion, one should also consider the source itself. A lot of the time, a fake news article is published on an odd URL address, and other times familiar sources are used, but it could generally be known to be biased. For example, in politics today, it is very common for news sites to include only bits and pieces of the story in order to sway viewers. By knowing who is and who isn't going to have a pre-made agenda, you have the knowledge to check the information from the network, or you could just avoid that network altogether. If we as a society want to limit the amount of fake news that we see, We have to make an attempt to understand the echo chamber effect of social media and have a habit of seeking a large variety of sources to further check what we already know. ResearchGuides.austincc.edu says that if you are still unsure whether to believe a news story or not, try checking it with a fact-checking website, such as Snopes.com, factcheck.org, and politifact.com. By using one of these sites to check information that you're seeing or reading about, you're not only protecting your own knowledge, but you're becoming a part of the process that prevents it from being spread to other people. This site also says that you can even check with the local librarian, stating that librarians are information professionals trained to distinguish quality information. In conclusion, I believe that the result of social media and popular TV platforms, false information, has the capability to negatively impact our society as a whole. However, if unfamiliar websites are avoided and fact checks occur, or any of the other tricks about news sites are applied correctly, then it is possible to shut down the business of fake news. I hope that my little extra was worth the listen, and that next time you're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and you come across an article, you are better equipped with some useful tips to check its validity before sharing it for others to see. I hope that for the sake of our own future, we don't take advantage of the kinds of media that we have today, and that we can continue to use them in the productive manner as they were intended. Thank you.